Yo, 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 what up, YouTube? I know I missed last week. I'm really trying to stick to a video a week. I missed a week so far this year, 2026, but it's been so much going on. I've been so busy with work and with a lot of other things. But man, a lot to talk about with the Bears. I just wanted to get on here and just give some of my thoughts over the last couple of weeks. So I went to the game versus the Lions. I got a chance to go to that game. Really good seats, really good experience. It was so cold. That was my first game going to Soldier Field when it was in the winter. The last time I went was a preseason game last year, and it was really nice outside. This game, so cold, almost ruined the experience for me. But I think it was just such a race towards the finish line for the Bears at the end of that game. Another comeback. Didn't end up winning in the end. We did lose to the Lions, which kind of sucked. It did kind of suck, but it was a good game. I just think like we get off to these slow starts, and we spend so much energy getting back into the game that it's hard to really finish. I thought the defense played pretty well, even though we gave up a lot of yards. The Lions weren't scoring touchdowns based off those yards, so I thought. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the defense is a problem. The defense is a problem." The offense was the problem for me. If we would have scored I don't know, 10 points in the first half versus zero. It was we had no points in the first half. I forget the exact score, but at one point it was 16-16, and then we got the ball back after Bayard got that interception, and I'm just like, "Okay, this is where we win the game." We've been struggling all offense. We get back in the game. Um Here's the drive, and then nothing happened. It was like they there was just nothing on that drive where we got the ball back after that interception, and we ended up giving it back to them. I feel like it was like a 4th and 5 or something like that in on their side of on our side of the field, and Ben Johnson punted the ball away, and that was the last time we got the ball. They Lions went down the field, kicked the game winning field goal, and boom, it was over. So that was two losses going into the playoffs. So my mindset was people kept asking me, "Oh, how do you feel about the Packers? We're gonna have to play the Packers in the first round in the wild card," and I really was like uneasy about it because losing two games coming to the playoffs, I'm just like, man, I don't know how I feel. Like, do I think we should win? Yes, I do. We won the division. We beat them already, but we just are not consistent in the first half. And that was something I kept saying to the people around me at the Bears game when we were down to the Lions. I was like, hey, we're a second half team, and even more so, we're a fourth quarter team. Like, we're not. I don't know what it is. We just do not get off to great starts in the first quarter, in the first half. We struggle, and then it's just like when we get to that second half and that fourth quarter, something just clicks, and we're like, "Oh my God, we know how to get off the field on third down as a defense." Excuse me. We know how to tackle. We know how to hustle. We know how to block on offense. We know how to catch. We know how to pick up first down. Something with Caleb Williams is just like those moments when the game is on the line, he just turns into a completely different quarterback. And I'm not mad at it. Like that's I'm not mad at it because I've said already the Bears have totally surpassed all the expectations I had for them. The expectations I have for them this season was what is Ben Johnson going to do in this division because he coached in this division already, so we should be winning the games in our division. The growth of Caleb Williams, he's our quarterback. He needs to grow. He needs to get a lot better. Growth of the offense in general, meaning offensive line, tight ends, wide receiver, running game. The growth of the offense, and can this team play as a team, because a lot of time it's been, oh, the defense is carrying us. The defense got to carry us. Special teams got to carry us. And so now I feel like this is the first time I've seen as a Bears fan where it's a complete team game. It's a complete team game. I could look back to 2018 and be like, oh, we had a really good defense. But a lot of the time, in the back of our head, we were still like, Mitch Trubisky, I don't know. We never had that with Justin Fields where we felt like our offense was on a place where it could carry anything. But yeah, this is one of the first times where I feel like we are in such a good position. Our team plays well together. I feel like this is one of the first times we're in a position where our team is just offensively, defensively, special teams, like they come together and they just decide, hey, all right, it's time to lock it down. It's time to fix this. I just want to talk about Caleb Williams a little bit. Now, me personally, I've been a big fan of Caleb Williams from day one. I remember when we got the first round pick and everybody's, oh, we should trade it and build around Justin Fields. And when people would say that to me, it would just like it was an embarrassing thing to say to me, because Justin Fields is a highlight quarterback. That's all he does. Highlights. You look him up, you're like, oh, Justin Fields. But look at the scoreboard. You lost the game. He rushed for 200 yards, threw for 150, and turned the ball over in the fourth quarter when he was driving down the field to try and put you in field goal range. So, like, the whole Justin Fields thing, yes, Justin Fields was a bridge quarterback. What I was saying was keep Justin Fields, let him play the first year, because I knew they were going to keep Eberflus, because I knew they wanted Ben Johnson Caleb's first year. But Ben Johnson wanted to run it back with the Lions again. So when people were like, oh, fire Eberflus, I understood why they kept Eberflus, because they were like, look, no matter what happens, Eberflus is gone after this year. That's why they were okay with firing him after Thanksgiving. Eberflus just coached so bad that you had to get him out of the building. But it didn't really make a lot of sense to bring in, like, look at Washington right now. They brought in Quinn to be the coach, and I'm sure they want to go back and be like, ooh, we should have waited another year and got us an offensive coach that we can really help Jaden Daniels. Because when Kingsbury leaves eventually to go coach somewhere else, you're going to have to start up a whole new offense around Jaden Daniels, especially considering the injuries and things that he's dealt with in his sophomore year. So I understood why they kept Eberflus. You just run it back with Eberflus. Try to win. Try not to get Caleb Williams' head knocked off, which you almost did because he was the highest sack quarterback in the league. And it just amazed me how many Chicago fans, and I let people do whatever they want to do. I'm not one of those fans where it's like, oh, look, now you guys want to jump on a bandwagon. Look, man, dude, you fan the way you want to fan. I fan the way I want to fan. Nobody gonna tell me how to be a fan of any of my teams. I'm a fan the way I want to fan. So you fan the way you want to fan. But I do think you have to take accountability for, oh, keep Justin Fields. We don't need Caleb Williams. Trade the first pick and do this and do that and do that. Bruh, I'm sorry. Justin Fields not winning any of these games that I've seen Caleb Williams win this season. He's just not. He's not. He doesn't throw the ball. He doesn't have the arm talent. I've been a fan of Caleb Williams since day one. And when I say day one, I mean when I was sitting in my apartment watching Oklahoma versus Texas in the Red River shootout game. And Caleb Williams comes into this game, and I can't remember the exact score, but I'm gonna link that video, because I think that's something us Bears fans need to see. Because a lot of y'all don't know nothing about Caleb Williams past last year and this year. You got to go look at the way Caleb Williams was in college. Caleb Williams was From if you just go look at that Red River Shootout game, you'll see why Caleb is the way he is. He loves these moments. He loves these back against the wall. Everybody's saying you can't get it done. Um, down by 3+ touchdowns, time running out, gotta make a play. Like just the throws. That's what. And so that game when he was on Oklahoma, and then when he transferred to USC, won the Heisman that next year, and I'm just like, I watched his Heisman season in awe because he just made it look so easy. He made it look so easy in a lot of those games where I was even saying his rookie year, like, I didn't really care who they had at receiver. I really didn't care who they had at receiver because you can hardly name any receiver that Caleb Williams had in college. He had Jordan Addison that year he won the Heisman, but like he was throwing the ball to everybody. Everybody. And you see that even this year. Look at the stats. Colson Loveland, before Rome went down, he was having a really good season. DJ Moore, all these guys. He throw Luther Burden, like all these guys get a chance to make a play. Zacchaeus, all these guys, they all get a chance to make a play because he's not the type of quarterback to just, you know what I'm saying? Like I think back to like those Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, Eagles teams where it was just like, the ball is going to T.O. You know it's going to T.O. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those quarterbacks. He spread the ball around. Everybody getting a chance. Just look at some of the moments a lot of these receivers have had. They've all had their game. You know what I mean? Zacchaeus has had his game. Luther Burden has had his game. Luther Burden in this Lions game was just dominating the Lions secondary in this game. It was amazing. All these guys have had their chance to shine because Caleb Williams spreads the ball around, and that's something you can go back to college and look at that. For me, that draft was either Caleb Williams or Drake May. It was that for me. The Bears, if you were going to take Drake May or you were going to take Caleb Williams. I was okay. I did not want Jaden Daniels. He did win the Heisman that year coming out of college, but I just felt like he was too skinny. And in this day and time, like look at the quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs right now. All big, stocky, big arm, can take a hit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting the Bears to do what they did with the offensive line, so I know if Jaden Daniels would have came to Chicago and been sacked 68 times, ain't no way he would have survived. And look at his season now. His sophomore year, he couldn't stay on the field. So I was never a Jaden Daniels guy. I was never a Michael Penix Jr. I was never a Bo Nix. Like, I watched Bo Nix in Oregon. He was good, but I don't know. He wasn't a Bears quarterback. He went right where he needs to go with the Broncos. Good for him. But I was either Caleb Williams or Drake May, and that's where it was for me. I've been riding with Caleb Williams even last year. Everybody, oh, he's a bust. Oh, he's this. I'm like, dude, first of all, let's get a boy a chance. Let's give him a chance. Our offensive line was trash last year. Garbage. Absolute trash. Offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, trash. Head coach, Eberflus, garbage. You did have Rome and you did have DJ Moore and Swift, and I was happy with that. They did put a lot of skill players around Caleb Williams, but when you don't have the offensive coordinator to put you in a position, it's like parenting to me. Coaching is like parenting. A lot of times when I look at a kid and he real bad and he can't get his stuff together, I'm like, well, where's the parent at? I'm not looking at the kid. That kid falling out in Walmart, he falling out in Walmart because he can't get what he wants because his parents letting him fall out at home. So that's where coaching is for me. I was like, man, everybody want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Look at this team. Look at what he's been given, and look what he made out of it. That's my thing. He still had a decent rookie season. The one thing that sold me more so, if anything, last season sold me more so on Caleb Williams because he was sacked 68 times and got up. He played every game. He got up. He played every game. He stood at that podium and never blamed anybody. And I was like, this is my quarterback. I've been saying it last year and I'm going to keep saying it. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. And he's shown even more so. Now everybody want to, oh, Caleb Williams, Caleb. And it's like, hey, I'm happy y'all finally caught up. I'm not mad. I'm not, oh, now you want to join. No. I'm happy. I'm happy that now we're finally giving Caleb Williams his flowers for the player he's been. I'm sitting back looking at going into this Packers game like this. I think back to the first game of the season, how, and this is an attitude I hope the Bears have gotten rid of through everything they've been through this season, where it's like, stop showing up to the game and then playing the game, getting up, and then thinking you won something. I look back to that Vikings game. Jalen Johnson shows up to the game wearing a dress. Now, I ain't got no problem with wearing a dress. Look, you wear what you want to wear, bro. You do whatever you want to do. But he shows up to the game. He's not playing. And that little thing in my mind, I was at my friend's house watching the game, and I'm like, dude, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game. Sure enough, the Bears get up. We come out in the second half acting like we won the game. You know, Deshaun Wright get the pick six. We like, this game is over with. This game is over with. We sitting there thinking, J.J. McCarthy's been playing horrible. He hasn't been playing well. He's turning the ball over. He can't really get up drive. And so we take our foot off the gas. Boom. Vikings come back. And it was that moment I was having a discussion with my friend. Like, dude, like, this is the same issue we had last year, where we get up or we play well and then we think we could take our foot off the gas. Now we fast forward to the Packers game. I'm going into that game like, okay, what Bears team is going to show up? We played the Packers 2 times this season, and both times we struggled in the first half. And that's why I didn't really say a lot when people were asking me about the game. I really had no opinion on it. I just shut up. I was just like, we gonna see. We're gonna see what happened. So if you had it written down that the Bears would be down in the first half, roar back in the second half / fourth quarter, and end up winning the game, it's the same script they've been doing all season. To fans, I'm just saying, like, man, we should just sit back and enjoy the ride for real. Because the Bears have far exceeded my expectations that now this is just icing on the cake. I think we have a lot to build on for next year. I think the Ben Johnson hire, I think we're going to look back at this hire and be like, man, this might have been the best hire in Chicago sports history. Seriously. Like up there with hiring Phil Jackson. Because this guy has come in and changed the complete culture of the Bears. The Bears have a different culture. For the most part, they have the same players from last year. Yeah, we got a couple of rookies. We did pick up some veteran players on both lines. But for the most part, DJ, Jalen Johnson, Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Tremaine Edmonds, like a lot of these players were here the last couple of seasons. When you bring in that coaching, and that's why I've been saying, coaching in football is sometimes more important than the players. When you got the right guy that is ready, that is there and can galvanize players and can bring them together and has them focused and comes in with a plan and holds people accountable and is a man of his word, players Look at the way the players responded to Ben Johnson. They are ready to run through a brick wall for that man, and I am as a fan too. Ben Johnson has come in here and he has completely turned this team around. Yes, Caleb has been great, but it has not been all on Caleb. Now, I will say, in this Packers game, if we don't got Caleb, we not winning that game. If you don't have Caleb Williams, the type of player he is, the type of throws he's able to make, if you don't have him, we not winning that game. It's just some things you can't teach. And see, that's where I feel like we're having the perfect marriage of players and coaching, is because Ben Johnson is going to come in there and he's going to keep Caleb focused. But then when Caleb needs to run into the phone booth and turn into Superman, he can do it. You can't teach those throws. Somebody and it's been like that the last, I want to say, 5 or so weeks, where it's just every week he's making a throw where you're like, oh my, like, dude, like that throw on 4th and 8, game on the line. Like, if you don't score here, this is game over. I think it was 27-16 at that point. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, any other quarterback in Bears history, that pass is either intercepted, he's taking a sack, and, for me, I'm big on Jay Cutler being the best quarterback we've ever had until Caleb Williams. Jay Cutler can't make that play. Trubisky, no. Kyle Orton, no. Rex Grossman, no. Justin Fields, absolutely not. All these people that were so big on keeping Justin Fields, like, dude, it's okay. We're going to let you slide with that take. Now it's time to throw that take away and come join the rest of us on the Caleb Williams freight train. Because it ain't a bad bandwagon. It's a freight train. We crashing through here. Caleb Williams is that dude. Caleb Williams is that dude. He can make any throw on the field. It's going to be his second full offseason with Ben Johnson. I'm just looking to next year and the years to come as like, dude, we're in our Super Bowl window right now. We're already going to the divisional games in his second year. Now, I'm not saying we going to the Super Bowl. I don't even care about it anymore. I'm just along for the ride at this point. I'm just like when you done went out and you done had a good night and now everybody's like, oh, where we going next? And sometimes, like, you don't got nothing to do tomorrow. You're just like, man, I'm in the back seat. I'm chilling. I'm having a good night. Let's go wherever we go. And that's how I feel about this Bears season. Like, dude, y'all already met my expectations. We beat the Packers. We showed we can play with any team in the league. We literally went into Philadelphia and put our foot on the neck of the reigning Super Bowl champion team, to the point where I was thinking, bruh, low key, I'd love to play them in the next round in the division if they would have made it through. They ended up losing because they were horrible. So, like, I feel like we can play with anybody. Yeah, we did end up getting swept by the Lions, but I think that last Lions game was just like, all right, bro, we headed to the playoffs, bro. Like, we really not even worried about what's going on with them. I feel like Ben Johnson would have went for it if it would have been like, we need to win this for seeding. But we already had got our second seed, so we were cool. But I just think, like, the Bears have far surpassed the expectations I had. And I think another thing I look at, and I've been really paying attention to a lot of different interviews, and, I watch all the interviews, watch all the press conferences, and a good way, and this is something, my dad has always said, you can tell you have a good leader when everybody's saying the same thing. And that's one thing I've noticed during this entire year. Everybody's been saying the same message. One game at a time. We trying to go 1-0 this week. Sticking to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to do it too much. Doing your job. I just feel like it's been one message, and you can tell by the 53rd man on the roster is saying the same thing the number 1 man on the roster is saying. And everybody's saying the same message as a coach. All the coaching staff saying the same message. We worried about what's going on this week. We worried about what's going on inside these walls. We worried about our team. There has been anybody going off script. There hasn't been anybody with their own prerogative or their own message. Everybody's been sticking to the Ben Johnson way. And that's why you can tell it's a good leadership. I just look at a lot of these teams and it's like, dude, the message is off. You can tell teams are ready for a different coach because the message is off. Look at the Ravens. They ended up firing Harbaugh. Dude, the message was all over the place this season. I'll pay attention to the Ravens. I like the Ravens. They like one of my teams I root for in the AFC. The message was off. You was getting a different message from Lamar. You was getting a different message from everybody, from the defense. You were getting different messages from different players. So look, I look at this Bears team, and that's why you can tell we got a good coach because the message is the same. Everybody's sticking to the message. So in this Packers game, I was just thinking like, man, I know we got a chance to win, but what is it going to look like? So I'm just my thoughts on the game. I'm sitting there and it's 21-6. And I'm just like, bruh, the Packers are giving us an opportunity. The Packers are going to give us the opportunity to win this game. It's 21-6, and they could not move the ball in the second half. Their first 4 drives, punt, 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 punt. And I was just like, bro, this is our chance. But we were driving down the field. Either we couldn't score or we were scoring field goals. And it was like, okay, bro, once we see ourselves get a touchdown, I think it's over with. And when we drove down the field and we scored that first touchdown, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's over. It's over. We're coming back. Now, when I say it's over, I was like, we're going to make this a game. I didn't think we were going to win the game. I was just thinking, oh, we're going to put ourselves in a position to win the game. Now, when they made it 27-16, I'm like, bro, like maybe that's a lot. You know, even though they missed that extra point, I was like, man, that's a lot to come back from. But when he misses that field goal, when what's his name, McManus misses that field goal, I'm like, yo, like we right there. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of timeouts. Like we right there. We got a chance. The defense was stepping up. Shout out to DA Dennis Allen, man. Like whatever anybody said to those players, to those defensive players specifically, at halftime they came out a completely different defense. Completely different. You could see they were flying to the ball. They completely shut down the Packers' run game. They didn't really sack Jordan Love, but they were in his face and they did make it difficult. He had to make some off-platform throws that he didn't complete. There was not really too many missed assignments. There was a point in the game where they were really going after Kyler Gordon, and he looked a little slow because, you know, he only played 3 games this season, so I understood. But, yeah, I just thought the defense came out and played completely different, man. They were just like – and I thought the defense has not been as bad as people say, right? That San Francisco game was awful. That was probably one of those moments where I'm like, oh my God, this defense is bad. But for the most part, after that San Francisco game, the Packers game, I thought the Bears defense showed up. The Lions game, I thought the Bears defense showed up. So I was like, those last 2 games, I felt like the offense was more to blame, especially in that Lions game, than the defense was. They gave up a lot of yards to the Lions, but they didn't give up a lot of points. If you give up 16 points in the NFL, you should win the game. Especially with the type of offensive players the Bears had. You should not be like, oh we need our defense to keep it to 10 points. Like 16 points to a really good offensive team, even though they missing Ben Johnson. That's a win in my book. Gone are the days where you're going to have like the 2000 Ravens and the 85 Bears. That's why they've made all these rule changes. They want to see more points. So if you're giving up 16 points to a Lions team, that's a good. So that's why I was like, coming out of that Lions game, I was like, okay, I'm more so worried about the offense than the defense. I feel like the defense, yeah, a lot of the numbers aren't there, and we do get the turnovers, and that I think that's the where the balance is. We don't have like the sack numbers and things like that, and we giving up a lot of yards, but we are getting turnovers to keep us in the game. We are kind of only giving up a lot of field goals in the red zone. We're not giving up a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. The defense is okay. Can we get a better defense? Do we need a better defense? Absolutely. We need a better pass rush. I think we need to figure out some things on the back end with a lot of these cornerbacks, and we've had a lot of injuries back there in the back end of our defense. But that's next season. We got money to spend. We can figure that out. I just think this is a offensive league now. Yes, you need a good defense. Yes, you need a decent defense. But really, if our offense shows up, we're going to be okay. And see, that was the thing we needed and we got in this Packers game was, yeah, the defense came out and played well, but if you're not scoring touchdowns, it don't matter how well the defense plays. So once we came back and made it 24-27, I'm like, okay, we just need to get a stop. Now, where the Packers are concerned, I just thought they came out of the locker room so lackadaisical, bro. So just like, I felt like they came out with the same attitude the Bears had earlier this season, where it was like, it's 21-3 at half. We chilling. This Bears team, even though we kind of had them in the same position in Green Bay and they came back, even though 3 weeks ago we had them in the same position in Chicago and they came back and won that one, we gonna be all right. We'll fit. This is the playoffs. We've been here before. And the Bears came back BTA. They came back and took care of business. So I just think, like, going forward, it was a great game. It's been such a fun ride watching this Bears team. Honestly, I expect them to take care of the Rams. I do think this is a beatable Rams team. Like, honestly, this is the season to do it. Because you don't have a real team in this playoffs right now that has been dominated over the last couple of years, like, say, the Kansas City Chiefs or the Ravens or the Eagles. Like, all those teams are sitting on the couch. Like, there's all these teams right now. We're gonna have a new champion this year. We're gonna have I think the Rams are the only team that have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So whatever team gets to the Super Bowl is probably going to be a first time winner. So I just think this is the year to take advantage of it. I am big on, hey, whatever happens, we can build on it for next year. But sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. I just look at the Lions and look at the Ravens and how fast that Super Bowl window will close on you. I'm even looking at Buffalo this year where it's like, dude, come on now. Like, this is Josh Allen's year to get it done because no Burrow, no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. Dude, you got to take care of business. You got to take care of business this year. You got second and third year quarterbacks and then Josh Allen. So I'm just looking at the Bears also, and it's like, hey, why not us? Why not? Why can't we do it? This has been one of the most magical, most amazing seasons the Bears have ever had that I've ever witnessed or ever been a part of. Or it's just been an amazing ride. Every week, getting to tune in to a team that's taking this thing serious, and we have actual players, we have actual ballers. You know what I'm saying? Where we're coming into games, and I'm like, oh, we're not at a coaching disadvantage. We're not at a quarterback disadvantage. And I just look at the moves, and I got to give a lot of props to Ryan Poles, too. Ryan Poles, did he make some big, sexy splash play in the offseason with free? No. You know what he did? He went and got Tooney, Dahlman, Jackson, solidified the offensive line. Look at the picks the Bears took And look at how pivotal all of those players have been, especially the offensive players with Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Kyle Monangai. Who thought that when they drafted Kyle Monangai in the 7th round, that you're looking at him like, dude, like this dude is a dog. We drafted a bunch of dogs, bro. And that's why I'm like, you marry all that together with a really good coach and a quarterback whose ceiling is, I don't even think Caleb Williams has a ceiling. Like, that's what I'm saying. The crazy thing about Caleb Williams is we haven't even seen what all he can do. And we've seen a lot. He's shown us a lot. But this is not his ceiling. Wait till he get that completion percentage up. Wait till he really start putting up some crazy numbers. And it's so funny because I was playing Madden 25. And I usually do like the franchise mode. And I did one with the Seahawks. And I did that one, that was like a long-term franchise mode. Like I did that about like 20 seasons worth. It was awesome. Fun time. But then I did one with the Bears, and I did it with the current team they have now. And so I simulated the first season because I like to go in and I like to start off with, my draft picks and, setting things up the way I like them, my free agency, whatever. But the crazy thing that happened was the Bears team made the playoffs. Everything was set up the same way it is. Same players, same rookie class, same schedule, and they made the playoffs. And I was just like, oh, well, let me see what happens. So I simulated the first playoff game. Boom, win. Simulated, they end up making the NFC Championship. Boom, win. End up going to the Super Bowl. Boom, win. And I'm like, wait a minute. We won the Super Bowl in our first year. I ain't even really do nothing. I just simulated the game. I ain't make no real changes to the roster. And so I look back at that and I'm like, man, did Madden know that the Bears had this chance? All they did was get a new coach and brought in some rookies and solidified that offensive line. We didn't really do a lot on defense. So I just look at this season and I'm just like, man, like we have had such a great ride that I don't even really care how it ends. Because it's not the end. This is the beginning. When you start looking at it like that, I feel like as a Bears fan, you're gonna have a way better time looking at the Bears. This is not the end. If this season ends on Sunday night versus the Rams, which I don't think it will, but if it does end Sunday night versus the Rams, man, it's something to build on. I feel like the way the coach we have and the quarterback we have are the type to come back hungrier. They're going to want to show people like, hey, that ain't nothing. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the Bears. I'm really excited about the Bears' future. That was just such an amazing game. Yes, it was like the ups and downs, the heart beating, the celebrations. Like, dude, like my mom, she doesn't even watch sports. But she's texting me after the game like, oh, my God, Caleb, this was such a good game. I'm like, bro, if you got Mama Markham watching the Bears, like, you know they making some waves, man. And I just love that this team has really, like, brought the city together after the game. I've really been tuning into a lot of listening to like some of their breakdowns and bro, they're in shambles up there in Green Bay and in Wisconsin, man. They are in shambles up there, bro. They are just firing Matt LaFleur and is Jordan Love really that guy and this, that, and I'm just like, man, like it's just crazy how the tables turn from just this is a Packers team that have been kicking our butts for years, like, bro, like, just, ugh. And now to sit back and I'm thinking, like, man, the Bears, and specifically Coach Ben Johnson, he said it out of his mouth, like, F the Packers, can't stand that team, hate that team. The handshake with Matt LaFleur was a little sketchy, but I love that. All these people, oh, why would he say that? Man, look.
We not cool with y'all. We not cool. Y'all the ops. We not taking no pictures with y'all. We barely want to shake y'all hand. Y'all the ops. They was the Packers players was doing all that talking. Oh yeah, we wanted to play the Bears. We wanted to do that. Okay, and now you on the couch. It just ended. It just ended perfectly. That's all I can say. Everything just worked out perfectly. You get down, you got all the Packers fans posting on social media, same old Bears, da 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 da, and then silence in the fourth. 25 points scored in the fourth quarter. Crazy. Um, I love the game plan they had coming out of in the second half. Um, and it is it's just amazing having a good coach. It's just a good time having a good coach. That's what it is for me. I do love Caleb Williams, and like I said, I'm big on Caleb Williams. That's my quarterback. But I love having Ben Johnson as my coach. I love it. I think it's the best thing that's happened to Chicago sports in years. It really is. It's just amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I really been streaming a lot more. I'm gonna keep trying to do these videos, post to YouTube. But yeah, I really been streaming on Twitch and going doing streaming on TikTok. So if you're watching this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Go follow me on Twitch. We trying to build it from the ground up on Twitch over there, so you know. And then follow me on TikTok. We streaming over there too. Um, right now I've been streaming. You know, just giving my commentary on the Office episodes. We're on season 2 now. Did season 1. We like episode 4 of season 2. So I'm just playing the game, watching The Office, giving my commentary. We listen to music on TikTok. Um, I've been doing like Drake. I'm gonna do some Chris Brown. You know my boy Playboy Cardi. Yeah, So I'm gonna leave a link in the description to my TikTok and to my Twitch. On Twitch is twitch.tv/ Johnny Drama 1000, and on TikTok is at the To Show 123. So yeah, excited for the Bears. Can't wait. Um, yeah, bear down.